Hey everyone, what's up? Gamer Guy 7 Ace is back with another discussion video or rant, whatever you want to call it. But in this video, I want to talk about something that I've been meaning to talk about for a long time now, and it's directly to the adventure fanboys or the Dreamcast fanboys on why Sega will never make a Sonic Adventure 3, or at least why Sega will never make another SA3 anytime soon. Now, over the years, there have been a lot of, uproar about why can't Sega make a Sonic Adventure 3? Come on, it's so simple. The Sonic Adventure games were the best 3D games ever, 3D Sonic games ever. All Sega has to do is make a Sonic Adventure 3 and everything will be alright. Really? Really? Will things really be alright? Okay, I remember Sonic's party last year when, when Takashi Iizuka and some of Sonic team were answering questions from the fans, and one of the fans asked the obvious question, the age-old question: when will Sega make a Sonic Adventure 3, the sequel to Sonic Adventure 2? And Takashi Iizuka said, he's never really thought about that lately. He never really thought that's what people wanted, but he will definitely take that into consideration. He would like to go revisit the adventure games. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that that was a big ass lie. That was a big lie Takashi Iizuka said, with the part where he said he didn't think about that. He didn't know that's what people wanted. That's a lie. Sega always follows the fan base. They know a lot of people have been wanting Sonic Adventure 3, right? So for Iizuka to say that he's never really thought about it is incorrect. He has. It's just that Sega has moved on from the adventure phase, and they don't want to revisit that because that gives them bad memories, bad flashbacks. I'm not talking about the games. SA1 and SA2 were good games. They were fine games for their time. Now, it's true, I'm not the biggest of fans of the adventure series. Matter of fact, I always making fun of them or make memes on them. But that's just because, that's the whole thing about being a Sonic fan. You gotta poke fun of our franchise. But, I do like the games for what they were. Do I want to see all the modern Sonic games emulate the adventure games exactly? No, not really. Matter of fact, I do laugh at people who think that the Sonic Adventure games are the best Sonic games, period. Better than even the classics. I mean, in my opinion, you're seriously mistaken, but that's just my opinion. Let me get back to what I'm saying. Here's the reason why Sega will never make a Sonic Adventure 3. Number one is unrealistically high expectations. Every fan base has it, but especially the Sonic fan base. We have an unrealistic expectation. The fact is, we can't help it. We can't help ourselves. Our nostalgia rose-tinted glasses are way too strong, so we're biased. Now, let me go back to 2010. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 came out. You guys remember the backlash it had, from petty things like Sonic's eyes are green, they're supposed to be black like classic Sonic, to the whole gameplay being Dimps inspired, the speed boosters, the wacky physics. Even when they fixed it, despite all that, Sonic 4 Episode 1 had decent reviews. It had around a 70-ish percentile average, really good. Then a sequel came out, Sonic 4 Episode 2, which seemingly fixed all the issues Episode 1 had, and for some reason it even had lower scores. It had around the 60 percentile. And even though the physics were better, it still wasn't praised that high, especially coming out from the coattails of Sonic Generations. We just looked at Sonic 4 Episode 2 even lower, because here you have classic Sonic, like really good in Sonic Generations, even though it's not the exact replica of classic Sonic in the 2D games, but it's close to it. And then we go back to Dim Sonic 4 Episode 2. So we didn't appreciate Sonic 4 anymore, and Sonic 4 just, fell into obscurity, just disappeared. They were planning on making Episode 3, but it never came to fruition. Now, is Sonic the Hedgehog 4, is it a bad game? Hell no. No, it's not even close to being a bad game. But is it a disappointing game? Overall, yes, because it does not live up to its predecessor, or its so-called predecessor, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. It will never live up to that. And that's because Sega shot themselves in the foot when they called it the sequel Sonic the Hedgehog 4, when it should have been called something completely different. Take the new Super Mario Bros. Series, for example. They know better than to call themselves Super Mario World 3 or Super Mario Bros. 4, because people will compare it with the classics. And the new Super Mario Bros. Games are very rehashed, uninspired. Yes, they're fun, but besides the graphics and a couple of new things that I like Mario wall jumping, there's nothing really new about it. But because they call themselves the new Super Mario Bros. Series, it's funny that they call themselves new. it's in a whole different league of its own. So fans don't compare it and put it down, you know, against the classics. That's what Sega should have done with Sonic, because when you call something a sequel of something that was great, especially 3 and Knuckles, people have unrealistic expectations for the sequel. It has to be better. It can't be decent. It can't be just as good. It has to be better, because from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3, the series progressed and got better and better, you know? And that's it. Now we have Sonic Mania coming out, and that looks great. That looks like it's going to be the best 2D Sonic game in ages, and after hearing Aaron Webber talk about how they really want to make sure this is the best 2D Sonic game ever, dare I say, I think this game might even be better than 3 and Knuckles. But you guys may be wondering, if this was called Sonic 4, would it have been received differently? My answer is yes. It wouldn't have been as bad as Sonic 4, because Sonic Mania is made by Christian Whitehead, who has a love and passion for the classic Sonic games, but people would be very nitpicky about it. Like, I'm already seeing nitpicks on Sonic Mania, especially if you check out the comments on IGN. Like, this one guy was saying that, oh, the you know, when Sonic hits the 1-up, it doesn't make that do 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 do, you know, that original jingle from Sonic 1 and 2. So therefore, he called the whole game trash. With that totally perplexed me, because like, wait, you call yourself a Sonic fan, yet you have no idea that 1-up theme is from Sonic 3 and Knuckles and has been used in many of the 2D remakes? Like, you're just dumb. But yeah, so I think the backlash, or the nitpicky backlash, would be even greater if it was called Sonic 4. Now mind you, I think Sonic Mania is the real Sonic the Hedgehog 4. It should have been called Sonic the Hedgehog 4 instead of what we got, but oh well. But that's what I'm saying, Mania is in a league of its own, you know? Yeah, so that's why I think if Sonic 4 was renamed differently, it'd be much better received, you know? Because people wouldn't be expecting it to be like Sonic 3 Knuckles or play like the classics. So yeah, and now let's go back to the adventure game. Sega has been trying to recapture the adventure experience since after Sonic Adventure 2. You know, they try in Sonic Heroes, but every game they try to put their own spin on it, or even Shadow the Hedgehog. Sonic 06 has been called infamously Sonic Adventure 3 because it's the most adventure-like game since SA2. And we know how that game went. It was completely panned. It was a broken game. Ever since then, Sega has just completely distanced himself from the adventure formula, and I don't blame them, because it had a negative ending to it, you know, with Sonic 06. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, okay, that's the past though. Sega has, you know, gotten better with their Sonic game, Sonic Team. Why can't they just revisit it? Since Sonic Unleashed, Sonic has been playable, you know, not counting the 2D games. Now we have Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric that came out 3 years ago. You could play as Sonic's friends, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. That also was bashed on, critically panned, because the game was also a hot mess. So that has even scared Sega even more to ever put Sonic's friends, to make them playable with Sonic, whether it's a spin-off or a main title. And you know, it's really unfortunate. Like, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric was the nail in the coffin for that. So that's why they're going back to Sonic being playable. Now, with that said, Sega isn't trying to just play it safe. There's going to be 3 gameplays in Sonic Forces, and we already saw the modern gameplay, which basically plays like a mixture of Unleashed, Generations, Colors, with a little bit of aesthetics of Lost World. So then we have the classic Sonic gameplay, which we all think is going to be exactly 2D, like you know, in Generations. However, I looked it up, and someone said here that that's not entirely true. Classic Sonic's gameplay has yet to be revealed by Sega, and is implied to be slightly different from his original strictly 2D style from Generations. So that means classic Sonic may not play exactly like the classic Sonic we thought he played in Generations. And also, Sega has also confirmed the presence of a third playable character with their own unique gameplay style. Now, many of us have been wondering who this is going to be, if it's going to be Sonic Boom Sonic or Future Sonic. I don't think it's going to be either, but I think the gameplay style is going to be the closest to Sonic Adventure. Now, if you guys watched my previous video, I showed gameplay footage of the Zelda DLC and Sonic Lost World. Open world, felt almost like an adventure type of game, if the level design were Sonic style. And that's the type of gameplay I want to see for the third gameplay style. I want it to be completely 3D open world, and I think this is going to be Sega's last attempt or whatever to attempt or to approach the adventure formula, or however you want to call it. And if that is received well, then I think Sega is going to start implementing more of that in the future games. You know, every Sonic game always has a certain gameplay style gimmick to it. That's what all 3D games have. You know, I even talked about this with the Mario games. You know, after 64, you know, Sunshine had the flood, you know, his water backpack thing. Galaxy 1 was the whole entire gameplay and the gravity gimmicks. 2 was all of that plus Yoshi. 3D World was the cat suit and all the power-ups. Now we're going to have Odyssey, which is his hat. Every 3D Mario game has a certain gimmick to it which changes the gameplay. It doesn't change the gameplay style, it evolves the gameplay style. And Sonic has been doing that, especially in the modern era. You know, Unleashed, we had the Werehog, even though that was kind of a bad move, but we had the Werehog. In Colors, we had the Wisps. Generations, we had Classic Sonic. Lost World was the entire gameplay and the gravity stuff. And now Forces is going to be this third playable character. So I think this is going to be similar to Adventure style. That's going to be Sega's way of trying that style one more time to see if people like it. I hope it's good, because, you know, as much as I love Generations and Colors, I just don't want to do the same thing in Forces. You know, that would be kind of bland. And yeah, so we need to, you know, stop jumping the gun and assuming things of Sonic Forces, because I seriously think this is going to be Sega's attempt at the adventure. Now that's just speculation, but all I'm saying is Sega's not going to make a Sonic Adventure 3 anytime soon, because it will be bashed on, period. It will be compared to Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and even if this one will be better, fans will still bash it and put it down and say how Adventure 1 and 2 is better. So why bother? Why would Sega even bother making a sequel to Sonic Adventure 2 if they already know what's going to happen? You know, so that's what I think. And that's just a sickness in the fan base. You know, we just can't stop comparing things to the original, even if it's warranted, even if it's, you know, even if it's justified, like Sonic 4. Yeah, and as for the Chao Garden, I don't understand. There are some Sonic fans out there that don't care about any Sonic game unless it has a Chao Garden, and I don't know what to say for you people. I mean, I never cared about a Chao Garden. I always thought it was just something extra, but I think Sega needs to get on that. I think they need to make a spin-off Chao Garden game specifically for the people that want it. I don't think that has any place in a Sonic game anymore, but I don't know, you people who love Chao Garden stuff, more power to you. But I mean, why would you judge an entire Sonic game because it doesn't have a Chao Garden? The last time there's been a Chao Garden was in 2001, Sonic Adventure 2, so I don't know. But that's all I have to say, you know, before I start rambling. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Leave your comments down below. And I am looking forward to seeing this mystery third gameplay in Sonic Forces, you know, by E3. I cannot wait, and I think it's definitely going to be completely 3D, because I don't even know what the classic Sonic gameplay is going to be, so we're in for a surprise. But anyway, guys, remember to smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also hit the bell sign so you don't miss a single video I post. Alright, until next time, swag out.